Hello coders, good afternoon. Sorry for being a bit late, I'm about 30 minutes late. Apologies for that. I was taking Murphing out for a walk in the forest. First time we've done that since the latest lockdown. So that was pretty awesome to get him out and run about in the forest, which was nice. Today we are going to be working on the Stripe integration for How to Code Well, and we're going to be playing around with the sort of the checkout area of that. I did a bit of this work yesterday on YouTube, but today I'm just sort of tidying it up and moving bits and pieces around. You'll kind of get the gist as we go. So also yesterday I was told that the music was a wee bit loud, so please let me know if it's a little loud and I will turn it down. Okay, let's get into the code. So, okay, so I've literally just got in. So what we're going to need to do is evaluate the shell. I've just started up the Docker machine. If I did docker ps-a, good stuff. Okay, I think that's okay. So let's see if we can actually get the website started. Let's refresh this one. Hopefully that'll come through. So yesterday we managed to actually get the Stripe integration. So when someone selected, I think it was the monthly account, and then a monthly thing, and then hit subscribe or whatever the button was, it would take the user to Stripe, and then they would, fill out their credit card details and stuff. And then once that was approved, that would actually bounce back to the success page, and that was all good and pretty much wired up. Although the success page wasn't wired up, but it hit the success page. I then have to deal with the user after that. But the thing is, what I don't want is when a user hit pricing page, when the user hits the pricing page, I don't want them to, as soon as they clicked on this, it took them to Stripe, and I don't want that. So what I'm trying to do is hook this into the registration process. So that's what we're going to be doing today mostly. And then hopefully get the Stripe bits sort of hooked into that too. So at the moment, when you hit one of these buttons, it takes you to the registration page, / and then / register, and then the plan, which is monthly. So if I went back to pricing and then clicked on the yearly, it would take us to register / yearly. And likewise, I think this does the same thing on free. I just want to double check this. This is what I was doing like late last night, so I just want to make sure that this is all good. Excellent. So that's register free. Okay, now I was thinking about having this subscription box here where it shows you what subscription you've chosen and the ability to upgrade or downgrade. But I'm not sure I want to do that. Instead, I think what I'm going to have is just the register section here, because I know the plan by getting it from the URL. I can store that in the session, which then after registration, I think I'm going to have like an order summary page, I guess, which has the subscription block. So when the user registers initially, regardless of what plan has been chosen, because obviously the monthly and the yearly there needs to be some sort of level of payment. I think initially I'm going to set the user up as a free user, and then once the user has successfully gone through the payment, I think then I'm going to change the user's account to be the plan in which the user has chosen. Because if the user just comes out of this flow, then I still want them to be able to use the free account. And I could also capture that. Anywho, let me just get rid of this thing here. Hey, Mr. DB303, thank you for joining. So I think the first thing I'm going to do is remove this subscription thing. This is just something I was playing with last night. So I think I'm going to remove this, but keep the ability to, have this up here. How's it going, Mr. DB303? Hope you've had a good week. let's go to the code, of course. And this, I believe, is the register function. Yes, it is. So you've got the registration here. Excuse me. I've still got this annoying cough. Okay, so, all right. So if the user is, if we've hit the registration page and we have a user, then redirect them to the front end, to the account section. That's fine. Then we have a series of allowed plans here, so free, monthly, and yearly. So this checks whether the user has that relevant plan here: free, monthly, and yearly. Blah, blah. Yeah, I'm all good, thank you. I'm all good. Not so bad. Yeah, just had a really nice walk with the dog. I'm a wee bit tired, but apart from that, I'm all good. So if the subscription plan, this is coming through the request. So if we don't have the right subscription plan, then we redirect them to the pricing page. And obviously I can't talk. So then we got the plan here. This runs the plan repository and does a find by internal name, looking for the subscription plan that you have just passed through. So find by internal name will you pass that in, and then it will find the plan, the subscription plan, based on that. I don't know why I've called it. That should be. Let's refactor that. That needs to be internal name. I don't know why I did that. Internal name. Okay, let's just do that. Internal. That should be internal name. Internal name is like a little reference for this, which is monthly, yearly, or free. Okay, so then if there isn't a plan, then we throw an exception. Okay, and then what we do is we do session get session from the request, and we set the selected subscription plan ID based on the plan ID that we've got. This now means that we have an association between what the user has chosen. Well, not associate. We've stored that. Which is great. And then down here we do a user create. So that creates the user instance, and then we generate the form. Now this is the register form, which is this thing here. And then we handle the request. And there is a little bit going. Well, there's quite a lot going on here to make the subscription. Now I don't want to be. This is something I'm going to have to play with in today's stream, I think, because I don't want to be doing this until after they've actually gone through the payment process, unless they're a free account. So that probably, I'm going to have to work through that, I think. Okay, and then, yeah, that's cool. We then render the stuff. Let's jump into that, because what I want to do is I want to remove this subscription box. And I want to remove, I probably want to, I think I need to put this in here and remove this. Scroll to the bottom, remove that. Let's just tidy up the page. Oops, wrong button. Right, so now if I was to refresh, if the music's too loud, please do let me know, because or if it's too low, let me know as well. Because the thing is, I was live on YouTube yesterday, and people were saying that it was a bit loud. Okay, so I still know whether you're a free account or what have you, a monthly jobby. So that's good. So I suppose then what I need to do is, once the user has signed up, registered, I need to send them to another page that isn't the front end account index. I need to send them to a page that is like an order summary, like a checkout page, almost. The thing is, the way I've got the Stripe working at the moment is it's using the Stripe checkout, which is this checkout hosted by Stripe. So it's not actually my own checkout. So it's not really a checkout page. It's more of a you've selected this subscription type thing, I guess. Okay, so let's go ahead and build that. Let's go to the front end. Where are we? The checkout controller. This is the new thing we were playing with yesterday, where we have our new Stripe session being built here. I think what I need is like a public, oops. I just can't spell today. Public function, and let's just call this order summary. In fact, we could probably get away with an index, to be fair. It is the index of the checkout after all. And then we'll do a request, like so. And I suppose at this stage, it's just a case of like ensuring that you've got a plan and then displaying that on the page and then having the button to actually go ahead and do the thing, right? I guess. So, let's do a plan ID is equal to request get the session back. In fact, let's call this session instead. And then it's session, and then it's plan ID, because we're probably going to need that session. Plan ID is equal to session get, and I cannot remember what I called it, so that's back in, where are we? I'm looking for security. Where is that? It's not the U. It's definitely not you. Here we go. We call that this here. I think what I'm going to do, actually, because I'm going to throw this around a lot, I think what I'm going to do is create a constants file. And we're just going to call this session constants. And call this session constants. And we'll have one in here, which is, what did I call it? Was it selected or something? Yeah, selected subscription plan ID. Selected, whoops, subscription plan ID, but like you. Okay, so in security, we'll do this as well at this stage. Session constants, there we go. And then on this one, we do a get of that. Okay. So that's going to return null. So what we could do is if empty plan ID at this stage. Well, I tell you what, no. We can still search for it, can't we? So we could do plan repository in here. Do I need anything in? Oh, come on. I'll refactor it once I'm happy with it. Plan subscription plan repository. Plan repository. Subscription plan is equal to plan repository find by internal name. No, actually it's not, is it? I've got the ID. Find one by find There we go, find, and we pass in the plan ID, and then we do a check if subscription plan instance of subscription plan. Whoopsie. That's the button I'm going to press. There we go. So if it's not the instance of a subscription plan, then we must deal with something, but I don't really know yet. Let's do throw so handle error or something. I'll have to work out what I want to do with that at this stage. Handle error. We do have the logger, so okay. I guess what we should do is actually return something, right? So we'll do a return this render up here, and I suppose we need to actually create our template, which is Twig. So let's go into, where are we? Not in here. Not in there either. It's in checkout. Here we go. Okay, we do have an index, so I think I'm going to leave it like that. This is something that we were playing with before. Okay, so that's fine. That comes back as a subscription plan. Okay, we can probably use that, to be fair. Let's go back to security controller. No, that's not it. It's not that one. It's not that one. It's that one. This is checkouts index. Oh, I keep pressing that damn button. It's not that. There we go. I keep pressing down rather than up. Or up rather than down, and then it loops back and goes to the bottom one. Ugh, it's annoying. Okay, so we can pass in at this stage the subscription plan, which is our subscription plan. Okay, all right, let's just see if that flow works. Let's just, before we do, let's just tidy this up a little bit. There we go. And I'm going to have to do something with this. Let's just leave that for now, but I'll have to do something at this stage. Okay, so let's refresh the page. In fact, let's go to the pricing page, in fact, and let's change this from free to something else. Okay, so let's change it to monthly. Okay, let's go to, let's put in a username. What's the date today? Is it the 18th? Yeah, 2 days away from my birthday. Oh dear, getting old. Test 1804. That's right. That's the username. The email will just keep to this sort of convention. So at testing.howtocodewell.net, and we'll put in the password. Okay, so I'm gonna hit R. I'm getting ahead of myself. I need to change this, don't I? This is just going to take you to the account page. I need to change that to be checkout, right? So this would be checkout. Oh no. Oh, I tell you what I haven't done. I haven't actually given it a root. Oh dear. This is what happens when my brain is about 5 to 10 steps on compared to what I'm actually doing. So let's call this slash. The reason being this is checkout, so that would be slash. So then that would be index as the name. Right, okay. So now we go back to here and we change this to be checkout index. Make sure I'm pressing the right button this time. There we go. So this is now going to redirect to the root of index. So I am going to have to refresh this page. That's annoying. Come on. Come on, you know you want to. Okay, so let's try this all again. Let's do test 18, test 1 hyphen 1804. I'm sure there'll be more than one test today. Create the account, which is testing.howtocodewell.net, and the password. And now if we hit register, we want to, the account should be created, but also we should be forwarded to the checkout page. So let's hit register. Fingers crossed if I've done this correctly. I probably haven't. I've literally just written code and thrown it to the wall to see. Oh, there we go. Hey! Now the thing is, why does this still say join now? Ah, I know, because we haven't actually logged in. Fine. I haven't got... Yeah, it's alright. I'm just used to working on systems where once you register, you're actually logged in. But this doesn't have that ability. So I would need to log in with the credentials that I've created. Anyway, that's by the by. That's like another step. So now we have our subscription. We've created our account. So technically I could log in with that user. And we have our monthly subscription. Now there's a couple of problems with this. Because this subscription maker thingy here, this is making the subscription and wiring it up, wiring the user to the subscription. And at this stage, I don't want that to happen. So for instance, if I was to log in with this account, which I've just created, so I think it's test 1. Oh, hang on, what's this? An exception has been thrown. Some mandatory filters plan to generate the route for security register. Oh. Did I just create? Yeah. Oh, I see. Oh, that's a bit of an annoyance. I reckon I need to do. Yeah, that's annoying. It's because on the join now there's a link to register, and I've put in that requirement. Ha. Okay. What I need to do is defaults, don't I? I need to do. Is it something like defaults? And then it's something like plan, and I believe it's... Is that how you do it? Do I need to have quotes on the plan? Maybe not. Let's try it. Let's hit save. Let's refresh. Fingers crossed this is working now. No. Couldn't find constant. Oh, yeah. I need to have. It's a It thinks it's a constant. It's not a constant. It's that. Right. Let's refresh again. I love these little hiccups you get when you do this. Come on. There we go. Okay, it's because of there was a a register, which is sign up, and it's because that if you have a look at the URL, it's just /register. Now I've had that requirement to have in the plan type, but now I've set the default to be free, which means that that's fine. Okay, right. Now I've got to remember what the email is. Is it test-18? No, it's test1-18 at no -4. Is that right? We'll see. At testing. I really should have copied this, shouldn't I? To codewell.net. I'll show you what that subscription maker does, which shouldn't really be used at this stage. If I hit login now. So we're going to log in with that account that we've just registered, but we haven't gone through checkout. What we should do is we should. Oh, maybe it wasn't test 1. I thought it was. I thought it was test 1. No. How to go well testing. Testing. Alright, let's try it again. Let's try it again. Otherwise I'll be here here all day. Let's click on this one. I could probably have a look in the database, to be fair. Let's do test 2. I told you there was going to be more than one test account built today. At testing dot how to. So that's the email that we're going to register with, and this is the username that we're going to register with, and sod it, let's use that as the password as well. Now I shouldn't have a problem with that. So that should now go to the checkout page, as we've said. But if I was to log in, okay, that's great. And log in with. Oh, I was trying to log in with my email address, wasn't I? And not the username. Anyway, test. No, it's not. It's this. Right. Let's log in again. Or log in for the first time. Okay, so now we're here. The account type has been set to free. Oh, okay. And if we go to billing, what's on billing? Maybe. That's super weird. I did select. I would have thought that would have been monthly. I'm sure I selected monthly. Let me try and log in again, but with the other one that I created, which was test 1, I think. And I think this was... Whoops. I love the fact that my keyboard... all the keys highlight red whenever you press the caps lock. It's like an angry tweeter's dream. Alright, let's log in. I just want to see. That's free as well. In my head, I'm thinking that should be monthly, but I mean, that's the right thing. That's what I want to do. Even though I've selected monthly, I haven't done the checkout, so my account should be free by default. And these things should be turned off, which they are. Okay, let me just... I'm unsure on that. Let's just step through this. So the subscription plan, we did get to the checkout page. And the checkout page did say that we had monthly. So we, you know... But it's at this stage here. Subscription maker, make user. Subscription maker. See, I wrote this a while back, so I need to refresh my memory. Let's have a look at what that does. So, right. Okay, I see. Because I'm not passing in the internal name of the plan, which, to be fair, could just be the plan, right? Because we've got the plan here. Because we're not doing that, it's defaulting to a free account. Clever. Okay. There's a lot of this checking around that I don't actually need to do now, because I actually have the plan at this stage. Okay. Okay, so it is actually doing the thing I want it to do. I'm going to leave a little note for myself here. Don't pass the subscription plan as by... as by default, all users should have a free. No, that doesn't. I'm getting too wordy here. Don't pass the subscription plan as this is free by default. Okay, cool. Okay, so yeah, I thought we would have to do a little bit of work there, but we don't. So once the user's registered, the subscription plan gets made. So if we go and have a look at this, we have, let me, just to refresh my memory. So we pass in a plan name, which is free by default. So when you register, you don't pass that in, which means that every registration will have a free plan to begin with. Because I don't want. The thing is, in a user journey, I don't want someone to go, oh, I want to do I want to choose, say, the monthly plan, and then register, and then go, actually, I don't want to be a premium member. I just want to be a free member. So I don't want to have records on the database that are just of users that can't access anything. I suppose at this stage I should put a flag in the database to say that they did select monthly, but actually they haven't gone through the full registration steps. And so what I need is when they log in to actually have some message or some redirection to the to Stripe or something. But again, this is all stuff that can be done later. It's just getting the mechanics working that I'm concentrating on at the moment. So this is creating the price, getting the price object, working out the end date. It's doing a calculation to get the end date. It's getting the start date. It's building the order summary. It's creating a subscription item in the order, which you can see on the billing page, which is in here. Now, the billing page is also going to be turned off for free users as well. I've just kept it here for my sort of just for testing, I suppose. But when they're free users, it's going to be off because there's nothing to be billed by. And then we create this, and basically what will happen is that a free user, this will just keep rolling through. There'll be a cron that updates all the free users to the next month. And then we have our order status, which is set to paid, and then we're gonna have to adjust that for the free user as well because there's no such thing as a free payment. And then this creates the subscription plan, or creates the subscription, sets the current order item as the current plan, sets the plan, and then returns the subscription. Blah 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 blah. Okay, so I suppose what I need to do on the other side of that, once they've actually gone through Stripe, which we'll deal with in a minute, there needs to be a subscription maker update, something like that, which will update that user's subscription plan based on what they've purchased. I suppose that would be a good thing. Okay, right. All right. Let's get back to what we were doing. So not this. Let's log out. Okay, let's hit join now again. We're gonna have to be creating accounts quite frequently, I think. Yeah. I'll deal with the case of a user drops the thing once I've actually got the full thing working, I think. Let's hit this, and let's create another run, and then we'll deal with the checkout page. So let's do, I guess it's test 3 now. 1804. Let's change that, if I can I test? Can I change that? Why can't I? What's going on? I can't seem to click into here, and it's really weird. I can't tab through it. There we go. Don't know what was going on there. Testing.howtocodewell.net. Alright, so we click on register. Takes us to the checkout page. I suppose really that we should, at this point as well, this is in our, we should do if plan, whoops, get internal name. I've done it again, haven't I? Pressed the wrong button. Here we go. Internal name is equal to free. Then we want to return this redirect route, and this is going to account index. Because obviously if you've got a free account, you're done. You know, you don't go to the checkout when you've got a free account, because you've got a free account. There's nothing to buy. Yeah. Let's just work that through just to be 100% sure. Let's hit join now that is the case. Right, let's hit start learning to code on a free account. I'm gonna have to deal with this session stuff, the session flash messages, because this is, I've just logged out and that's coming through, which is not good. Right, test 19 04. And yeah, that's cool. Nope, wrong button. Hang on. Yeah, let's change that. That's not right, is it? That should be test 5. I think we're on the 5th one. Who knows? Who cares? 18. Come on. 04. Right, so we've registered as a free user, which means that we should yes, your HTCW account is ready. Please log in. So if we logged in with that, yeah. Okay, there we go. All right, so that flow's done. All right, let's do the other flow. No, I don't think I'm very worried today about tarting it up, you know, the whole checkout page. I don't think I'm bothered with that today. I mean, we could play around with that, I suppose, but I think I'll do that. I'll do that once we're done, obviously. Make sure I've actually copied the right thing. Right. Okay. Cool. That works. Okay. So I suppose what I want on this page is some form of like, if you've chosen a monthly account, you know, you can upgrade to a yearly account. If you've, I mean, maybe even there's a page for a free account, so I could upsell to a monthly. I don't know, but let's not worry about that at this stage. I suppose what I need is a button, something to say pay. And I mean, this page, you'll have like I don't know, you would tart it up so you would have the order, summary, you would have like account, you would have the name of line items and all that jazz, and then a sort of a subtotal thing, and then a button to say pay now or start your journey. I don't know. Essentially what I need is a button, and that button would take us off to Stripe. So let's deal with that. Let's get into we've done with that, aren't we? It's here. So we need a button. We need a button. A button. Now we were playing with buttons yesterday. On the pricing page, which is in here. And we were playing along with a lot of JavaScript on the YouTubes yesterday, which I wasn't overly happy with, to be fair, but it's just the way it works. So I need to have. I just want to read this JS. So we got our Stripe connection here. We got our subscription plan button. So that will be our button. It'll be like a checkout button ID, I suppose. And then this is the add to cart. I think we need all this, to be fair. Subscription BTNs. What's that? That looks like it's coming from a class name. Okay, so we'll get this from an ID. All right. Let's create a button. All right, where are we? We're on the wrong thing. It's in here. So I'm just going to throw this in here, and it's going to be a button. And the button won't have a href because, it's a button. And that is going to not be that. We'll have an ID instead. And we'll do, I don't know what we would call it. Start. I don't know. Payment. I don't know. My brain can't think of that. Marketing stuff at the moment. No, it would be checkout. Check. And let's just call this checkout for ease. Right, let's refresh this page. There we go. So got our checkout button. I know I said I won't tart it up, but let's at least move it in the middle, shall we? So let's just follow the rules of the pricing page. What have we got up here? We've got our pricing page. Probably isn't the best one. Home page, maybe. Okay. All right. I said I wouldn't be playing around with the look and feel too heavily today. So let me just throw this in. We could probably tidy that up so it's not actually going to do that. Yeah, let's get rid of that for a second, and then let's just refresh this page. Just get it in some sort of format. Well, once this is done, and this is going off to Stripe, we can play around with all of this. So that would be all the things. In fact, actually, thinking about it, that is the RH1, isn't it? So it is that. There we go. All right, so, you know, this would be your line items. It would tell you the amount. It would offer you an upgrade. All of that fancy stuff. I'm not really bothered with at the moment. I just want to get this button to work. That will ping the user off to Stripe. So let's go and hook that up. Let's I tell you what I'm going to do, because I'm out of tea, I'm just gonna make a cup of tea, and then I'll be back, because we're almost hitting an hour. I want to try and get to the point where when I hit an hour on a stream, I have a break, just for a few minutes, just to, because I think I'm hunching over, and that's not good. After all my long streams, I usually feel quite achy, and also I end up very dehydrated. So I'm going to make a cup of tea, and I will be back in a few minutes. All right? So I will see you, and then we'll get on with Stripe. And I've got a feeling it's a case of just wiring up the JavaScript and stuff, and then once that's ready, we'll then tackle this page and make it a little bit more pretty. So anyway, I'll be back very, very soon. See you in a bit. Okay, okay. Right, so I have my tea, and it's green tea, if anybody cares. And I am going to build this checkout page. That's what I'm going to do. That's what I'm doing. That's the whole point of today. Right, so we did this yesterday, but I didn't like the way it worked because you clicked on that pricing thing and we clicked on Grow Pro and it went straight to the checkout. Didn't like that one bit. There was no ability to register. Now we've hooked it in so you have to register. And now we've got the checkout thing. So what I'm thinking of doing is just taking all of this JavaScript and putting that in checkout. Let's just tidy this up a bit before I do so. Putting it in here. Now, obviously, once this is all I'm happy with this, I'm going to probably put it in a module rather than embed it directly onto the twig. But anyway, now there's a bunch of stuff we need to set up and deal with. One is the Stripe API key. And also the fact that this is getting elements by class name. Actually, what this should be doing is it should be getting checkout, and it should be getting get element by ID. It's a button, not a BTN. And down, 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 even further, even further. Okay, so what we need to do. So beforehand, I looped through and did a for each button. Add the event listener. I think what I need to do is subscription plan btn dot add event listener. Event listener is called click. And what we want to do is we want to set that to be create subscription. I think. False. Yeah, so we get rid of this loop because there's only one button. There's only one checkout button. In fact, let's change this to be called checkout btn. Scroll down to the bottom here. Let's change that to be okay. So what this is doing is it's saying, okay, on the event of click, we're going to run this function. We're going to pull the plan. Now that's changed. So there's no free plan. No. So that's different. And then what we do is we redirect the user. We redirect the user to checkout. Now let me think about this. This is pulling the plan out, right? So we already know what the plan is. It's going to run the add to cart function. It's going to run this JSON request, passing in the plan name. Now we already know all this stuff. Okay. Let's scroll to the top and work our way down. So the first thing we need to do is get the Stripe API key. So if we went to pricing, have I removed that bit of the thing? If not, I can copy it across. Let's go over to the checkout, pricing controller. Yeah, this is it. Right, so what I need to do in checkout controller, do I have a constructor? I do. I do have the parameter bag. We are setting the API key, but I need to pull down, sorry, not this one. I need to pull the API key. Okay. I need to pass that down. Alright, so let's go to here on index. That needs to go there. That's the secret. I need to have private. Yeah, okay. In pricing controller, we need to grab that. That is now you. And in pricing controller, we need to grab that. Get rid of this. And get rid of this. Because now in checkouts, it is now Stripe API key. And Stripe API key set there. That's the key. Scroll, scroll, scroll. Here we go. So we're passing that down to index, which should mean that that's now populated, which it looks like it is. Otherwise, that would be erroring. All right. This is all fine. I mean, I need to tidy up the code and everything, but that shouldn't be changed at this stage. Scroll, scroll, scroll. Let's leave that commented out for now. That was just me playing around with it yesterday. Okay, so the change would be when we do checkout BTN add event listener, click create subscription. The change would be here, getting the data plan, because if we went to pricing index, do we have it? Aha. I changed it, didn't I? To be on these things. Now, we already know this, don't we? We already know the plan because it's in the session. You wouldn't be on the checkout page if you hadn't selected a data plan. So we already know this at this stage. So, okay. So technically speaking, we don't have that, nor do we have that. So we don't have this, nor do we have any of this. It's just a post request. The post request is going to check out add subscription, which I think I'm going to rename. I need to rename this. Let's rename this to because what this does, you see, is when it does add subscription, you go to the checkout controller, which down in the depths of here, add subscription, you pass in the request, and the request gets the plan, which we already know about because it's in the session, in our session. So none of this is relevant. And then what happens is, once you have the plan, you get the price ID from the plan. Get price. So yeah, so this defaults to the free price. If the plan is monthly, this gets the monthly price. If this yearly, you get the yearly price. And then it sets up the session in Stripe. It saves the session ID as well, and returns that back to our checkout page, which means that on our checkout page, what it's doing is it's then redirecting. Once we have that session ID, it redirects to Stripe with the session ID. Yeah, okay, so I guess what I need to do at this stage then, I think I'm still gonna have that, but this plan is going to be this get session, sorry, it'll be off the request, get session. Do I have I've got session up here, don't I? So let's do that up here. So this is going to be session get, and again this is going to be our constants that we played with. So get selected subscription plan. This is getting the plan ID. So what I need to do is I need to do plan is equal to, so that's plan ID, not plan name. This would be subscription plan is equal to, we got the plan repository here, so it's plan, sorry, plan repository find plan ID. All right, so that's going to get our subscription plan. Let's get rid of all this. That's taken care of. Let's change that to be subscription plan. This is what we were doing beforehand, so let's get rid of this. We'll do a check to make sure that that subscription plan is in. Yes, let's just do that. So name plan, get internal name. So plan. Sorry, that's subscription. Sorry, that was throwing me there. Subscription plan. We can then do if we can then do if in array, if isn't in array, where we get the name, and the array items would be plans available. And let's do a strutter to lower off of that. Whoopsie. That is right, it's key and then, is it key and then haystack? Or needle and haystack? There we go. So if that's not available, then we throw an exception. Okay, so that's our checks. Okay. So we're already saying that, you know, a free account doesn't go through this process. So if the name and again I'm going to strut to lower this. Come on. If the strutter lower of name is monthly, so let's do monthly down here. All right, then we get the pricing of the monthly account. And again, if we do name yearly, we get the yearly account, yearly price. All right, because this is what Stripe cares about, is the price IDs that are associated to these things. Now, I guess we should also do at this stage another check to make sure that we have a price ID. So let's do price ID is null above here. So let's do if empty price ID. That should be if empty, not if isn't empty. If empty price ID. Then we also throw another exception. Cannot find price for plan. And we know what we have an internal name of the plan, so we can do name. Okay. All right. So at this stage, we should have a price ID, and we should have a subscription plan, and we should have the sessions set up. All right. So now we can do our session create. So this is creating the session for Stripe. We got the price ID, we got the sending quantity to 1, and then that will do a HTTP request to Stripe to set up the session on their end, and then return the ID. And then what we do is we down here, yeah, we return JSON, and we return the session ID. Gotcha. All right. Again, I'm going to, in the constant file, I'm going to have public const Stripe session ID is equal to Stripe session ID. Okay. So we are. I'm just wanting to set this up. So it's just a case of using constants here. So session, and it's Stripe session ID. Okay. Okay. I mean, I don't think I need that, but we'll just keep it going. Okay, so I think that's good. Why is that highlighted? Let's remove that. Okay, fine. Now I want to change this because what's this? I just want to change the name. Yeah, I will. So instead of adding to cart, because essentially we've already done that, I think we should do process cart or something. Process cart. Or something. And this should be checkout process or something. I don't know. It's just better than add to cart because we've technically already done that. All right. Okay, so that's going to here now, and let's have a look. See what's going on with this. Why is that red? Expecting a new line or a semicolon statement expected. That's closing there. That is closing there. Do I not need to have that? I don't know. That would be closing there. That would close there. That's that one. No, maybe not. There we go. Alright. Anything else that's might throw this a little bit wonky? Okay, I'm kind of happy with that. Let's just see what happens. Let's go and refresh this page now. Although it's been more than 30 minutes, hasn't it? I can't remember how long my sessions are held for. We'll see. And cool, okay. And we'll do developer tools. Just bring that in a little bit. Okay, so we're gonna hit network. XHR is on. Let's do checkout. It's gonna hit process. The headers that we're sending is just blank. And yay, look at that, we're in Stripe world. That's cool. Okay, so we got the email thing to deal with. I want to hook that up because we already know what the email is. But let's just throw some things around. Let's just do blah 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 at testing.howtocodewell.net. 42, 42, 42. all the fours, all the twos. Anything that is in the future. So that's 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Name or card. We'll do myself. My postal code is not that one, but that's a London-based one, I think. Let's hit subscribe. Now that should redirect the user back to the checkout success. Look at all of this stuff going through. Yay! Okay, so that's that. I suppose now what I need to do is, well, there's a couple of things. One, I would like to pass the email in to Stripe. The other one is, once the checkout is done, I need to then enable the subscription or change it from the free account over to the new account. Because if I logged in now, I would still be on the free account because nothing's happening after the success is done. I think what I'm going to do first up is I'm going to work through that passing in the email. What's the time? 16:20. That's fine. This is where I need to get into the world of Stripe, into the docs. I need to have a look at... not there. Let's just bring that over there for a second. It's this. This is the thing that I need. Subscriptions with checkout. So I think it's something to do with a session. I think. This is what we were looking at yesterday on YouTube. Content type. This is what they do. Create checkout session. Which is this. This is basically what we've done. Okay, see, this is what I need. So see that for additional parameters to pass. And I'm hoping that there is a parameter about email or anything to do with the customer, because that would be handy. All right, let's go to this documentation and see. Okay, we got the cancel URL, that's required, that's done. We got the mode, which is required, it's payment, setup, or subscription. That's fine. That's all set. Payment method types is required. What have we got on ours? Card. Yep. Success URL is required. Client reference ID. A unique string to reference the checkout session. This can be a customer ID. Oops. This can be a customer ID, a cart ID, or similar, and can be used to reconcile the session with your internal systems. Maybe maybe I should pass over the customer ID. So that's client reference ID. Let's try that. So we're now in this world, in our process. I might change that from process to be create session like they've got, because I think that makes more sense. But anyway, let's do a client reference. Now, this needs to be the user ID or something that references this. Let's do, can we do this get user? Yes, we can. Okay, cool. So let's do user ID. There we go. So user is equal to this. In fact, we should really be doing this at the start anyway, because at this you can't do a checkout unless you've got a user account. So there we go. User is this get user, and we should check whether we have the user. So if user is not an instance of user, then we need to throw an exception. cannot find user. Right. Okay, so now we have the user. So if we scroll down to there, we should have user get ID. There we go. That was pretty painless. And let me see. Let me keep. Customer ID of the customer. ID of an existing customer if one exists. Oh well, maybe that's what I need to do instead. Huh. Okay, if one exists in payment mode, the customer's most recent card payment method will be used to pre-fill the email card details, and address on the checkout page. In subscription mode, which we're on, the customer's default payment method will be used if it's a card, and otherwise the most recent card will be used. A valid billing address is required for checkout to pre-fill the customer's card details. If the customer changes their email on the checkout page, the customer object will be updated with a new email. If a blank checkout session is in, if blank for checkout session in payment, or I don't understand that. Checkout. You can set the payment intent data set up future charge users to have the checkout automatically attach the payment. No. Customer email. This is what we're after. I don't think I'm going to worry about that. To be fair, a unique string to reference the checkout session. This could be the customer ID. I think that's fine, but we've got the customer email. If provided, this value will be used for the customer object when the customer object is created. If not provided, the customers will be asked to enter their email address. This is exactly what I need. Yeah, this is exactly what I need. Okay, so let's put that in here. Customer email. And let's find it. So let's do how does one get an email address from my system? Email is equal to user get email. It's just like that. There we go. So in fact, we don't actually need this variable. It's just that. Okay, right. If provided, the value will be used. If not provided, the customers will be asked for the email address. Use this parameter to pre-fill the customer data if you already have an email on file. To access the information about the customer once the session is complete, use the customer field. Nice. Okay, line items we've already done. I'm going to continue down this road just to see where it takes us. Metadata is to set a set of key value pairs that you can attach to an object. This can be very useful for storing additional information about the object in a structured format. Individual keys can be unset by posting an empty value to them. All keys can be unset. Okay, fine. I don't know what I would use that for. And then we got more parameters. Okay, what's submit type? I'm just reading, just playing. Describes the type of transaction being performed by checkout in order to customize the relevant text. Oh, right. Describes the type of transaction being performed by checkout in order to customize the relevant text on the page, such as submit button. Submit type can only be specified on checkout sessions in payment mode, but not checkout sessions in subscription or. I think that's okay. Subscription data. A subset of parameters to be used. To be passed, to subscription creation for the checkout session in subscription mode. Let's have a look. Application fee percent. No. Default tax rates. Okay. Items. A list of items, each with an attached plan that the customer is subscribing to. Right. Okay. Maybe I need that. Plan ID, because the thing is we just have the pricing ID. We don't have the plan ID. Then we got trial end. Oh yeah, we don't need the trial. I'm not putting trials on at the moment. But it's good to know that I can do it in the future. Okay, and then this is the response object that we got. ID being, I see. ID is the thing. So this is what gets returned. Okay. Huh. There you go. I didn't realize any of that. I've learned something there. I suppose what I should do is actually get this running. I mean, we've done a lot of change to the code. So the idea with this is to provide the Stripe with the email address and also the ID. Let's give that a whirl and see. So I'm on the wrong tab. I'm in the wrong browser for a start. There we go. I suppose what I need to do is click join now again, create a new account, put in the email address, and do the whole thing again. Okay, let's do yearly this time. I really do need to sort that out. It's a case of just scrubbing the session. Test. Forget now. Are we on 6? Are we on 7? Have I done 6? Yeah, I've done 6. Let's do 7. 1804. That's the username. Pass that in as the password, as the email address. How to code? Well, testing. Let's do that. Code well.net and bung that in for the password. Let's hit register now. I'm going to change the name of that. Let's hit register. We should have subscription as yearly. So let's now hit checkout. Now we put in the email address. So either one of three things is going to happen. Either the email address is going to show with the correct email address. The email won't show because we already know about the email address. Or it's going to be what it was, which means that it's broken. Let's hit checkout and see what happens. Okay, so we hit process. Ooh, or a fourth thing will happen and it fails. It's a bad request. Okay. Cannot find user. Oh, wait. I haven't actually logged in at this stage, so there is no user. Oh, dear. Okay. Okay. That makes perfect sense. I haven't logged in and therefore there is no user. What I suppose I could do is put the email address in the session and pull it from there. Yeah, let's do that. Let's do that. Let's go to... It's... this would be in security controller at this stage here. Again, I'm going to create a constant thing in here. We need user email. And we also need user ID. Oops. Wrong button. So we come here. We only need to do this if they're going through the checkout process. So we don't need to worry about this if they're a free user, because they will just sign in. So what we need to do is, do we have session? Yes. Session set. Passing in session constants. Let's do user email. Now this should be user get email, and we also need to do user ID. In fact, I think I'm going to do this regardless. I've pressed that wrong button again. I've gone down instead of up. This needs to be a string. Okay, I'm going to do this regardless of whether they're paid for or a free account, I think. Because I'm still on the fence as to whether a free account needs to go to this page and then be offered to go up to monthly. I don't know. Anyway, that's in. So over in this world, we don't have a user because we haven't logged in. But what we do have is our email, which is, we should do this underneath here, which is session down here somewhere. Get plan. Get the user details. So we have email is equal to session get, and this is session constant, user email, and then same dealio with this. This is the ID. And we'll do some checks. So if email, if empty email, or empty, whoops. Now I'm gonna have to write a lot of tests for this to cover all of these cases. I mentioned on one of the previous podcasts about cyclomatic complexity, and you can see this method probably won't get past PHP-MD. So there's going to be a level of refactoring and dealing with all of this, at some point. Anyway, we're going to throw an exception to say invalid user details or something. And then we're going to get the email address from here. Sorry. This is the user ID. This is the email address. Right. Okay, fingers crossed now. We're going to have to hit join in again. Oops. Join now. Do this whole thing again, because we don't have the session, those things in the session at this stage. Okay, again, let's go yearly. That always cracks me up. I really do need to sort this out. It's just because it's keeping the session of the other flash message. All right. Okay. So let's do test. Are we on 7 now? No, we're on 8. 0. No. 18. There we go. It just threw me because we were on another one. There we go. Another 8 and 18 looked similar. At testing. .how to codewell.net. Okay, right, now we hit register. Again, this should go to our summary page or our checkout page, whatever you want to call it. There we go. Check this out. That should now go to process. Oh no, we've got a failure. Brilliant. Okay. What's that? Received unknown parameters 0 and 1. Oh great. It's one of these annoying errors that doesn't actually mean anything. Right. Oh dear. So I'm guessing it's got something to do with the email and the ID, as they have just been put through. Oh dear. Received unknown parameters 0 and 1. Is that... Let's do it again. Still thinking about it, still flashing away. No. So I'm guessing it's this, is it not? I mean, there's 0 and 1. There's 2 things going on there. I suppose what I could do is just quickly hack around and do a dump of email. And a die. And see what comes back. Let's just hit that. Here we go. Okay, so we do have, that is correct. That is the email address that we have stored. So that's okay. Let's do the ID then. The ID's fine. Okay. So my guess is it's something to do with this, like, you know, these 2 things. I bet if I was to remove these 2, it would just work fine. I reckon I've misread the documentation. Client reference ID. A unique string. Both of these are strings. And customer email. Do I have an example? Is there an example somewhere of this being passed through? Customer email is none. Is null. All right, I tell you what. That because that thing is useless. Let's do a. Let's see if there's any other info we can pull out of this. Let's do dump. No, let's not do that. Let's just hit. Let's just throw that again. Throw exception, because we hit checkout now, we should hopefully get in our preview window the actual exception that's thrown. Here we go. Again, it's totally useless. Error, it's an API error exception. Unknown parameters 0 and 1. It seems to have thrown it on quantity. This is very weird. Why would quantity be thrown? Let's have a look at the docs again. We're looking for line items. Here we go, line items. A list of items the customer is purchasing using this parameter to pass one-time recurring prices. For subscription mode, there is a maximum of 20 line items with recurring prices and 20 line items, blah, 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 blah. Okay. We've got the price, the ID of the price or the plan. Oh, okay, okay. One of the price data or amount required, price data. Adjustable quantity when set provides configuration on the items. Okay, fine. Amount. It's deprecated. Currency is deprecated. The description of the line item to be displayed on the checkout page. Do we have the description? No, we don't. We got quantity. Quantity, here we go. Oh, quantity is optional. The quantity of the line item being purchased. Quantity should not be defined when recurring usage is equal to metered. Well, it's not. I don't think. No, I don't have anything about recurring on there. How weird. How very weird. All I've done is I've put in the client reference ID and the customer email. That's all I've done. Alright, let me just double check that I've got all of this wired up as it should be. That is the client reference ID. To be fair, we could probably get rid of it. The customer email, let me make sure that's correct. Yes, that's spelled correctly. I'm going to just comment out the user ID. Just use the email. Let's hit checkout. That's very weird. I see the emails being populated. That's great, but that's very weird. Why would the client reference ID have a freak out? That's so bizarre. Client reference ID is optional. It is a unique string to reference the checkout session. This can be a customer ID, which it is, a cart ID or similar, and can be used to reconcile the session with your internal systems. So, I mean, yeah, that would be good. Customer detail, customer email. I can't see it here. Oh, here. Yeah, client reference ID. Okay, well, you know, we got the email in, that's what I wanted to do. Let's, don't worry about these figures, they're all arbitrary, so don't worry about all that. I'm only concerned with actually getting this working rather than the business side of this at this stage. Let's, okay, once this is done, right, and we have our success URL, let me see, what happens next? What happens next? Okay, so after the subscription signup succeeds, the customer returns to your website with the success URL, which it does, which initiates a checkout session.completed event. When you receive a checkout session completed event, you can provision the subscription. I see. Oh, okay, so I don't do it straight away. Uh-huh. Okay, which initiates a... Okay. So it's a webhook. I got it. Okay, when you receive a checkout session completed event, you can then provision the subscription. Gotcha. Continue the provision to provision each month, if billing monthly, as you receive the invoice paid events. If you receive an invoice payment failed event, notify your customer and send the customer to the customer portal to update the payment method. Okay. For testing purposes, you can monitor events in the dashboard. For production, set up a webhook endpoint and subscribe to the appropriate event types. If you don't already know your Stripe webhook secret key, then click the webhook in the dashboard to view it. Okay. I suppose this is the next step, isn't it? So, post webhook, logger log. That's the webhook secret. If webhook secret, then we get the event. Construct the event. Get the body. Right, so something's come in at this point, and we are getting the request body. We're getting the request signature, and we're dealing with the webhook secret. Okay, that makes sense. So that's a try and a catch, okay, at that stage. Else the event is get the parse body, so there's obviously two ways to get to do that. Okay. Okay, so the type is the event type, and the object is data object. I got it. Okay, I got it. So then the type here is checkout session completed, which is what we were talking about up here, right? So a checkout session completed. So after the subscription sign up succeeds, the customer returns to the website at the success URL, which initiates a checkout session completed event. All right. So we got the event here. Payment is successful and the subscription is created. You should provision the subscription and save the customer ID to your database. You should provision the subscription and save the customer ID to your database. Okay, dokie. Right. Okay, let's deal with this then. I think this is the next stage. I think this is the next stage of the game. Right, I've already got my webhook stuff running, I think, if I was to... Well, when we were listening on that, when I was playing around with the listen stuff, I probably have to set up again because I've reset my machine since then. But it is hook controller, Stripe event, handle the request. It's just doing a hello world. No, it's not actually. We've got the handle request. What's that doing? Okay, here we go. Handling the Stripe webhook. This validator. This validate the request. Deals with whether the request is valid or invalid. Then create the Stripe from the webhook. So this is what this is doing is it's saving the webhook to the database. So then I can run a cron job to deal with that. Because I don't want to be updating this for every single request. I want to be grabbing that request, validating it very quickly, and then saving it, and then running a cron to update it. So let's step through this for a sec. Let's do validate. We JSON decode the stuff, validate the type. Okay, so if empty the type is missing. If the type is not a part of the valid haystack, valid types, then we return this error. So I suppose what I need to do is double check the valid types, don't I? We've got type customer subscription deleted, invoice payment succeeded, payment failed, payment create. I don't know if I need to do this. I was just playing around with those things, but this is what we need to do. Check out session completed. I tell you what I'm going to do, because we've done loads of stuff. I'm going to do git status. I think what I'll do before we even get to this, is I'll just quickly do a make tests, because we've done an awful lot of stuff. And what I want to do is just make sure that PHP Stan is happy. I want to make sure that PHP CBF is happy. I want to make sure that mess detection is happy. Yeah, so this isn't happy. So let's make it happy. So they're all manually fixed. And then I'll do a commit. And then I'll work on the webhook stuff. That's probably a sensible route. And of course it's coming to the top of the hour, so I'm going to see the damage of all this. And then I'm going to make another drink. And I'll probably stand up as well. Like, I'll change the desk to be standing mode. Because I think I'm crouching in the desk, which isn't good. Okay, so let's fix these up first before I do any of that. Okay, so the checkout controller, this unreachable statement. Oh, that's not good, isn't it? This is checkout controller on line 144. Let's deal with that. Let's just copy that. Go back into PHP Storm for a second. Open that up. Paste that in. It was 144, wasn't it? So 144. Oh yes, this is because I was throwing exception and not... Okay, yeah. See, this is why these things are good, because you end up looking at silly mistakes and fixing them. There we go. Access to an undefined property. Order status manager. I feel like I could just fix this and then all three of those will be done. Line 29 and line 60 and line 69. Okay, fine. Let's have a look at those, shall we? What's going on here? Order status manager. Orders. So that's line 60, that's line 69, and line 20, which is 29. So what's going on here? My IDE doesn't like that. Order status manager. Order status manager. Or Okay, I need to create a order status manager. Is, I think that's what I need to do. And let's just move that to be in here. Okay. Right, I'm going to just run make static analysis just to run this, because we've fixed those two. Session cart line 25, whilst PHP Stan is working through its thing. Let's just go and have a look at this. Line 25, what's wrong with that? Oh yeah, cool, that's done. All right, line 25. Session cart. We're not using session cart anymore. I can actually remove that code. That is in here. It's these two. I can remove those. I was over-engineering the whole session storage mechanics. You know, solving a problem that doesn't actually exist. So those two things can go. Subscription maker, set status expects an order status, but order status or null is given. Okay. So that is line 57 on that thing. Line 57 is here. Set status on the order status. This is because it's getting a find by internal name, and we haven't actually checked whether that is the thing that's being returned. Are we doing any other find bys? We are here. Okay, let's do this above here and do another if statement, much like this, but it's this and this is order status. Cannot find order status. And we already know what we have here, because we've got the All right, can't find. Order status paid. All right. Right, let's see now. Have we finished with PHP Stan? Yes, we have. Okay, let's go back to our tests and see. I've got a horrible feeling that PHPMD is going to have a fit with some of this stuff that we've done today. Okay, so it's passed PHP CBF. CBF. It's passed. Oh, it's passed mess detection. Oh, okay. Fine. Alright. It's passed PHP Stan, as we know. It's passed the doctrine mapping stuff. We haven't done anything to the database. So now it's just deleting the cache, and then, I mean, you've seen all this many times. This is just me double checking I haven't broken anything. After it clears the cache, I got a feeling it's going to run the unit tests. Now, we haven't done any testing for this, what we've done today. I think because I'm still trying to learn the mechanics of Stripe, I think I'm going to just continue down this road before I do any kind of testing or TDD on this stuff, just because I'm still not sure with the flow of things. Yeah. Right, I'm going to get a drink. I'll be back, and then once this is done, we'll go through... I'll do a commit when I get back, and then we'll work on the webhook stuff. We already have this thing which is in there waiting, so we will work through that. Right, I will see you in a mo. Hello. So, I've got my tea. I've also got an Oreo. Because I'm a winner. Oreo's awesome. I'm going to just raise the desk. See ya. Right. Okay, so let's have a look. How's the testing going? Let's get back to this view. Get the testing going. I didn't realize there was a light on up there. It's shining on my bald head. Testing, that's what we were looking at. Whoa! There's a failure on the webhooks. Right, there's only one failure, which is this thing. Let me fix this. I don't know what it is yet, but let me eat my Oreo and then I'll fix this. I'm going to turn this light off. There we go. Less shiny on the head. Right, so what's going on here? Test integration Stripe webhook test. Test save event. Something's gone bang with the API secret. Must be a string, but null has been given. Null is used. Interesting. Let's have a look. I love it when a test that I previously ran created fails. I mean, it's... Well, obviously I don't love it. It's just frustrating. It's like, this should be okay, but obviously I've done... And I can't think of anything I've done today to break this, so this is probably... What line is it? Do we have a line? 33. 33. So I've obviously done something and not ran the tests. I haven't done anything today, so I must have done something a couple of days back, which is annoying. I should be running these tests more frequently. Right. API Stripe webhook handler. I don't even know what that's doing. Webhook handler. Stripe Manager Bang. What is this actually trying to do? On line 33 of this, we're doing a before. Oh, hang on a minute. Look at all this. This is not good. Namespaces are invalid. That doesn't even exist anymore. Let me sort that out. Oh, Fisher, what have you done? Tests, which we're in. Integration testing, which we're in. Stripe, which we're in. Yeah, that needs to be hook. Right, okay, that's that sorted. Let's just tidy that all up. Right. There we go. So it is this thing. Let's run this integration tests. Let's just jump into the container. So we... Why do I always do that? I always click the wrong thing. Bash. Let's get into there. Let's now do a bin. Code sep run. Integration. -G. I can't spell integration. -G. I thought I had that on my clipboard, but obviously not. Copy that. Paste that. Hook. Press enter. Right. So one of these is going to fail. Well, that one. The only one we have. This is now on line, because we've done that change, line 30. Line 30 is this. On the before. Typed property API secret. Right. Let's hit that. Aha, It's because my parameter bag doesn't have the secret. Okay, I see now. I get that. I understand. Right. So what I need to do is, on the parameter bag that we've got here, we're creating a mock. We need to do parameter bag method. Get. Yeah. Return. Will return. 1, 2, 3. It doesn't matter. It's just a test. I don't actually think this does anything. I don't think. What am I testing here? Saving the event. Okay, yeah, so that's fine. Right, let's run that. Hey, there we go. Right, so I just needed to mock out the get off of that, because the parameter bag of the webhook handler in here does a get, passing in that, and it will return obviously something. And the reason why that was failing is because this is a typed property. If that was set to null and that was nullable, then that would be fine, but obviously we can't do that because that's the secret that we need. Right. Okay, fine. That's fine. That's good. I am going to now commit my work. Okay, so very stupidly, I'm going to do git status, see all the things, and go, oh, okay, I've done lots of stuff. I'm very lazily going to do git commit WIP for checkout. Git status, and we'll just push that up. All right. I'm obviously, as you can see, I'm not very good at my commit messages. But sue me. So, okay, let's move on to the webhook stuff. If we close all the tabs and look for hook controller, we'll do it from there. We'll do handle of the request. This is where the change needs to be made, invalidate. And it's these things here. If we had a look at this and saw, is this the, excuse me, it's this. Private const, which really should be in our constants file, to be fair, but so this is type underscore, what are you? Checkout session. Checkout session. I think it's completed. Completed. Is equal to that. And we put this into the valid types. So self. Whoops. Type checkout session completed. Boom, boom, boom. Whilst we're at it, let's do payment failed. Do we have that? Payment failed. Invoice payment failed. We do. And do we have invoice paid? No. That's type. Invoice in invoice. I'm gonna have to work on all of these things, aren't I? And that is this. Let's put this all up by all the other invoicey bits. Right. Okay. Okay. Okay, so that should then validate that. Fine. Okay, that validates the payload, that checks all that stuff. Okay, good. So let's go back to here. So that should pass, which means that we should be in here. We should be here, sorry. So event, get event from request. Let's have a look at that. Okay, signature, that deals with the signature. Payload, get content, that constructs the event. That passes in our API secret. And that returns the Stripe event. So, sorry, let's go back to here a minute. This gets the event, and then this saves the event. I see. So save event. We get the pass in the event here. We get the webhook manager. We get the status manager. We find the, so that comes in as new status. We deal with this and then we save that. Okay. All right. So technically speaking, I should have, if we were to keep pressing that button, it's that button. It's the reverse search. MySQL. We should, if we did use how to code well, we should have select all from, no. Select count from, and I can't remember what it's called. I'll take a guess. Stripe web hook. All right, at the moment we've got one, which is because of the test DB. So we need this open. We also need our logs open. So if we did cd to here, and what I'm going to do is process this and see if it sends a webhook, and see if I can capture it, and then see if I can save it. Okay, so I need to evaluate the shell because we're using a Docker machine here, and then we need to do we need to jump into the container. So we go into bash and we do a tail -f var log dev log. Okay. We also have what I built the other week, which is our nice little script that we've got that does a check in the queue. So we can do not that. Let's do a CD into. So what I'm doing at the moment is I'm just setting up my workspace for this. We also need to evaluate the shell again. Yeah. And this time I am gonna go into the container. I can't remember what I've called that script, so we're just gonna run bin console for a second. I think it's something to do with like queue report or something, but we'll see. Come on. Why is it taking so long? There we go. Right. It would probably be somewhere at the top. Here we go. Stripe event queue report. So if we select this, and then go to the bottom of the shell and go bin console, and we ran that. That should give us a nice little report. There we go. So we got payment intent created. We got one of those. That's because of the that's because it's within the whatchamacallits. The test data. There we go. Okay, so what I'm going to do now, because I've made that change to the validator, so it has that type that we just put in. I am going, which is checkout session completed. I am wondering whether or not I might still have to listen to this. Let's do that. Let's do a... I want to do that, but I want to do it above. Oh, never mind. So we'll create a new shell, and we will again evaluate our Docker machine. And this time I need to do a reverse search of listen. Maybe I need to do a login, I don't know. Let's try that. Getting ready. Your webhook signing secret is this. Fine. Do I need to do anything with that? Or not? Okay. I don't know. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just run this, process a payment, and I'm unsure, but I'm hoping that we'll get a webhook coming back, which means that that count will go up to 2, and we will have another thing in our queue. That's what I'm hoping. So, okay, let's do all the 4s and all the 2s. I think it's anything that's in the future, isn't it? 1, 2, 3. And that's all right. Let's hit subscribe, and then wait. So all of this is going through. That's now ticked. That should take us back to our success page. It's worrying how slow things take sometimes. This is a problem when you're working with third parties. I don't know. Something's going nuts in my... Oh, look at all of this. Your webhook signing is this. We got charge succeeded, payment method attached, customer created, customer subscription created, invoice created. So all of these webhooks are coming back. This is what we're looking for. Checkout session completed. What is going on? Oh, this is telling me that those webhooks are invalid. Okay. So we've got a lot of errors, a lot of failures. All of them are failures. Brilliant. Client timeout exceeded whilst awaiting headers. I'm not 100% sure what that means. Anyway, this has gone to success. Do we... We've got 5 events in here. Let's have a look in our queue report and see what's happening. Yes, we do. Woo! This is what I'm looking for. Checkout success completed. That is brilliant. And we've also got our invoice paid, and we've got our payment succeeded. Wonderful news. I don't know what all these errors are. I think it's because I'm listening. I've got my webhook set to listen to everything, which I really shouldn't have, to be fair. I only want to listen to specific things, but because I'm learning this, I've just set it to listen to everything whilst I'm testing. And I've got a feeling that a lot of these things are failing because if I scroll up to the logs, there we go. Webhook is invalid. I type webhook is not valid. Invoice updated. This is because in wherever this handler lives in the host controller. Good. Let's go to here. It's in the validate routine. It's because these are the only webhooks that I'm looking for. So this would be, come on. Invoice updated is invalid because invoice updated. Seriously, Pete, come on, get the tabs right. Isn't in here. All right. Because there's a bunch of events apparently that you don't necessarily need to listen to. These are the three main ones for subscriptions, I think. But we'll see. Again, I'm still learning this. So anyway, the invoice updated is not valid. The invoice created is not valid, and the customer subscription updated is not valid. And that seems to be one that really should be valid, to be fair. Anyway, so these are what the errors are returning because of those exceptions. I'm probably not returning them in the best way. Anywho, I don't want to worry about any of this. Not today. I want to worry about this. Checkout session completed. Because it says in the docs, after a subscription sign-up succeeds, the customer returns to your website, at the success URL, which it does, which initiates a checkout session completed event, which we have. When you receive the checkout session event, you can provision the subscription. Continue to provision each month, if the billing monthly, as you receive the invoice paid event. If you receive an invoice payment failed event, have I got any of those? Nope. Obviously I need to handle that, right? Obviously. But we're only worrying about this one today. Okay, so this is going off to another link here. So when you receive a checkout session completed event, you can provision the subscription. Let's click on that and see where that takes me. More documentation, obviously. After a successful payment, a confirmation page is displayed. At this point, it's safe to provision the product. Alright, so I shouldn't be provisioning the product on the success page. I should only be provisioning the product when we get this session completed event in, I think. Okay, so first of all, verify the status of the subscription is active, granting the customer access to the products and features they have subscribed to. The payment process differs across the payment methods and geographical locations. Payments can also fail initially. Customers enter as in the wrong card number, insufficient funds, etc. So there are a few payment outcomes you need to understand. Okay, this all makes sense. The life cycle of every payment is tracked with a payment intent. Every time a payment is due for a subscription, an invoice and payment intent are generated. The payment intent ID is attached to the invoice. And you can access it from the invoice and subscription objects. The state of the payment intent affects the state of the invoice and subscription. Here's how the different outcomes of a payment map. Okay, so you've got your... So this is payment succeeded, paid, and active. Okay. Okay, so when a payment succeeds, the subscription is active, and the status of a payment of the payment is exceeded. The payment is complete and you should provision the product on your account. Right, so I suppose what I need to do now is I need to create a script that will, like a console script that will loop through this and look for invoice paid and potentially checkout session completed, maybe. Yeah, all right, let's do that. Why not? So I'm going to be a good boy and I'm going to commit what I've done already. So we're going to come out of, I need a shell. I don't want to lose this setup. Let's, I tell you what, I don't need that because I got my report. So we can do, not that. We could do that. Bring that over here. All right. So let's get into the website again. Let's do an evaluation of the shell again. I really need to set this up as a sort of a, some sort of shortcut that does all of this. Because I'm relying on my reverse search. And I tell you what, when I switched from my iMac over to my Mac Mini, I didn't realize how much I was relying on reverse search and the history of the command prompt. All right, what are we doing? I've evaluated the shell. Yeah, I want to. Yes, I need to do a git status, don't I? Let's do a git diff. There's only that one. Okay, so we could do a git commit -am. Let's do adding webhook event types. Okay. Fine. Right. So let's create a console then, console script to loop through all of these things and look out for various bits and pieces and deal with them. Let's go over to our trusty PHP Storm and let's create our command, and our command will be, we'll just copy that, this will be Stripe event processor. The idea is that this, I want this to be ran like maybe on a cron. So Stripe event processor. Is the name of the game. Okay. So we'll do a processing Stripe events, and what we'll do is we will events is repository find all. Okay, we've already done this. Sweet. Let's get ready. Remove the table. Let's remove all of this stuff. Okay. I wonder, I mean, there's going to be one command, I think, that will fire off various different commands based on the different types found. Let's just, though, work on, let's scale it down a little bit. Let's just work on the whole, let's work on the invoice paid stuff. So I'm going to reformat this. And we'll do this Stripe invoice paid event processor. Yeah, all right. So what we want to do is we want to find defined by, and again, this will need to be refactored and tested and all of that jazz. Now, I can't remember what I've called this, and now I'm wishing I had the database running again. I can find it out. It's okay. Is it type? Type. Webhook handler, webhook handler. Nope, 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 nope. Down here. Alright, so yeah, it's type. And we want to deal with the types of is it there? No, it's not. Where have I put these types? I put them in the validator. I don't like that one bit. Let's create a constants file. So this is stripe web hook types type constants. Okay, let's copy that and put it in there. Let's change this to be stripe. Let's get rid of you. Let's go into the validator. Let's copy all of this. Let's paste that there. Let's change all of this to public. I think that's probably wise. And then let's get rid of all of this. Let's do that's valid types. So let's do stripe webhook type constants. They're actually event types, aren't they? But anyway. Okay. So they were private, so nothing else is going to be using those, so that's fine. So that's a good bit of refactoring there. Okay, so then this point we're going to do stripe webhook. Oops, no. Type constants, and we'll do, what's the constant what we're looking for? We are looking for invoice paid, which is this one. So it's going to find all events of that particular type. It's then going to, what we should do is processing stripe invoice paid events. We need to have we'll probably put something down here as a counter. So events found, and let's do a little counter in here. So that is a count of events, and actually we probably need to do this outside. So let's do count is counter total count. It's probably better. Of events. Now also we kind of only need to look at ones that have a particular status, but I don't think I've set that up yet. So at the moment it's just getting all of them, which is a bit daft. But anyway, we can deal with that. Just for this one test, I think. Okay, so that should return one events found. And then we loop over the events, and what we do is we get the payload. Payload is equal to event get payload. Oh, we do have a status. I don't think I'm using it though. Am I using it? I don't know. Can't remember. I did this a while back, so I'm not sure. If we do save event, do we have a status? Set status. Status is new. Aha! Wonderful news. So we can find the things not only by type but also of status. And I think I've just set the status to be a string. I think it is. Oh no. We haven't. We've set it as an actual object. Okay, fine. Okay, so we need to get this. We need to get the status. We need to deal with the webhook manager, which is what? Where are we? What are we doing? Who am I? What's going on? Status manager. Here we go. Manager bag. Right. I think I might inject the manager bag. What is the manager bag? It is the... Is it the stripe manager bag? Stripe manager bag. I've got a feeling I'm going to need that. Let's put that in. I think we can replace that. So this is manager bag. This manager bag is equal to manager bag. That is stripe manager bag up there, and of course that's the same there. Right. So now down here we can do this manager bag. Get status manager. There we go. Get repository and all that jazz, and then I tell you what, we'll probably need this throughout the thing. So we'll do status manager is equal to this manager bag get status manager, and we'll do webhook manager is equal to this manager bag get webhook manager. There we go. So that can be simplified like that, and this is the webhook manager, I believe. Get repository find by. There's nothing. I haven't got anything on here, have I? I got find one, find creek. No, I haven't. Okay, fine. Okay, so the status then is the new. So we'll put that in here. Okay, so then now I'll get the total events, and then we'll output that. Now we get the payload, and now the payload is serialized, so we'll need to unserialize the payload. And I really should also do an order by the earliest, by the earliest. Yeah. Hold fire. I've done a lot of coding without actually running any of this. So let's do that. Let's go to our thing here, and let's get into the shell. So again, a reverse search of this, and let's see now. What have I called it? I've called it that. So if we did bin console and run that. Come on. Okay, so one event found. Brilliant. Now I'm going to just change this, do a little bit of refactoring here. So we're going to do process invoice paid. Brilliant. There we go. a processor for Stripe invoice payments. Wonderful news. Okay. Okay, so now we got the payload. Is there a way I can I wonder if I can, I've never done this before, but I wonder if I can just dump this out. I've never done it before in a console script. Let's just see. Never done it before. I don't know if this is going to fail or if it's going to work or what it's going to output. I don't know. I've changed the name of it, haven't I? Tripping myself up already. There we go. Okay, let's run. Let's run this. Bloody hell! I didn't realize it was going to do that. Okay. Scroll down. Let's just see what it is that I've just unserialized, unpacked. Woo! Wow, look at all of that goodness. That's cool. Is this the actual? Oh gosh, I haven't set up. My history yet on this. Okay, fine. I think this is the. Well, no, I don't actually know what this is. Let's do a. Is it get class name? Something like that. Get class. That returns a string of payload. Let's dump that out. I don't actually know what that is, so let's just do it. Stripe, Stripe object. Okay. At var Stripe object payload. All right, what else can I do on the payload? I can do count. I can do something called dirty. I don't know what that's about. Get last response is deleted. JSON serialize. Refresh from to array. Yeah, I thought there was a way. Hang on a minute. Isn't the Stripe object like a base object? It is. Damn. I thought it was. I thought that was like. I thought it was more like that. Or. More like that. I don't know. I thought it actually had like I thought it was more of payment intent is succeeded. Object is subscription. Latest invoice. When the payment succeeds, the subscription is active, and the status of the payment intent succeeded. The payment is complete, and you should provision access to the product. Okay. Is it a subscription? Because I thought all of these objects extend Stripe object. That's what API resource Stripe object. Yes, they do. I suppose there's only one way to find out, right? So we have object is subscription. I don't know if this is correct. I have no idea. But there is a status on here. Oh, here we go. Object is invoice. There we go. Object is invoice. I can see it. It's an invoice. Right. Which has a status, which is a null or a string, and the status on this is null, which doesn't make any sense. Undefined property of Stripe object instance status. Okay. Oh, I think I know what I need to do. I'm not doing it right, am I? I need to wrap this into a... I think I need to wrap this in something, don't I? Construct event. There we go. That's what I need to do. I think that's what I need to do. I think. Yeah, I honestly don't know. Event is equal to... I'm basically trying to reverse engineer this. So, well, not reverse engineer, I should say. I think it's this. Basically, I want to convert this back to the object it was. So this would be the payload, which would be the body. I have no idea what this would be. The signature header. I don't keep that, so I don't know what that would be. Nor do I know what the secret would be. Well, I do know what the secret would be. Do I need to do this? I don't know. Do I need to... Am I overcomplicating, over-engineering this? I believe I am. Yeah, I believe I am. Let's set this to... Unless there's a way of... We know it's an invoice. Is there a way... Invoice is equal to new invoice, ID null, and options is null. Is there any way I can... refresh from? Yeah, I wonder if there's a way I could do this. Is there... You got refresh from, and the payload. That requires values, values being an array of values. Refreshes this object from the provided values. This is a very big guess, but I'm wondering if I can do payload. Lost it. I've lost it. Hang on. at var. We know it's a Stripe object. That is the payload that we've got. Right. Is there a two array? Yes, there is. I don't know if this is going to work. Who knows? Why is that commented at? Required parameter ops is missing. I'm going to set that to null. Because apparently I can. Okay, and let's see if we've got an invoice. Oops. Status. Let's see if we have a status now on that. I don't know if this is going to work. I have no idea. I'm expecting a lot of bugs. Undefined property of Stripe invoice status. Maybe I'm doing the wrong thing. I mean, I didn't get an error. Let's just do a to array on this and just see what that returns. Interesting. So it has actually converted it to an array, hasn't it? There we go. We've got all of our stuff now. So the object is an invoice, which we are aware of. We have all of these things here. We've got the created. We've got the invoice URL. And then in our data object, we have our description. We have our price ID. We have our product. We have the nickname. That's the price. Is there anything in here though about statuses? Here we go, status, paid. Okay. Payment method is saved to the customer. Okay. Is there anything on here that relates to the customer? You got the subscription. That's the unique ID. Subscription item. Anything about... Here we go, customer email. That's what I was looking for. And that's the customer ID. I got it. 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 So what I could do is I could find the user by the email, by the email address. Yeah, I could do that. Find the user by the email. And then once I've got that, adjust. I think I would prefer the ID rather than the email address, to be fair. So I'll need to somehow go back and deal with that. But we've got the email. So can I do this from... Can I do... What is that? Customer email. customer email. Can I just pull out the customer email? Is that possible? No. Okay. That's weird. Can I do... Do I have to do it by an array? My problem with arrays is that because this is... Can I do get? That doesn't seem to be a get. My problem with arrays is that if they were to change the SDK, I would have no knowledge of them changing it. Like for instance, if they change customer email to just email, or instead of customer email, it's customer email address, I would know because it would throw my tests would throw an error. I suppose my tests would throw an error with an array, to be fair. Anyway, let's just click onto that. What happens with this? Once the invoice is finalized, no longer updated. Okay. Let's just jump into API resource, Stripe object. We do have a get here. Can I do this? Is this possible? Is this allowed? I don't know. Let's do... let's do a get in front of this. Change that to be an uppercase. I don't know. Probably not. Nope. Undefined property, Stripe invoice instance, customer email. And yet it's here. How utterly baffling. I guess what I could do is, instead of all of this stuff, I could just do, so instead of converting it into there, I think I'm going to have to use arrays. So let's do data is equal to payload to array. So then we have customer email is equal to data customer underscore email, and we'll do some null coalescing thing on here, I think. So we'll do oops, that, and then we'll do if customer email is equal to null. Then after this, we will find the user. Okay, cool. I think I'm going to leave it there today. We've done loads. I think that's probably where I'll leave it. I reckon. It's getting on to the next hour, so. Essentially what I want to do on this is loop over these things, adjust the user records to be, upgrade them from free to whatever they've chosen, monthly or yearly. Yearly in this case. And then set the status of the webhook to completed, which means that it won't be picking up this one again. And then we should be good. I mean, there's lots of things to test and handle and fix and tighten up, but I think we're getting there. Let me just deal with that a minute. I think we're getting there. Anyway, thank you ever so much for joining the struggle. Happy coding, everybody. Have a good rest of your evening or day or wherever you are. And I'll see you again soon. Cheers. Bye-bye. See you on Tuesday. All right, where's the off button? I haven't set this up yet on this new machine. Okay, take care, everybody. See you soon. Cheers. Bye.